So I want to throw out some words that we tend to beat up a little bit, overuse them. They're now anemic. Great, amazing, incredible, and maybe the most diminished of all, awesome. Awesome used to mean awe-inspiring. It used to mean a sense of wonder, astonishment. And now it means you have the correct change at Starbucks. Like, awesome. And so today, what is great? What is great? How do we define great? How do we know it? Is it thousands of Instagram likes? Stuffed animals get thousands of Instagram likes. Is it having a bestseller? Maybe. But if you have a savvy agent and they get you in these magical 11 or 12 bookstores strategically placed around the country and you get a few sales, you might get a bestseller. So how do we calculate greatness? For some reason, I wanted to answer this question, so I came up with a formula for myself, an absurdly simple formula. So I'm an absurdly simple person. And it goes like this. I like Taylor Swift's music. Lovely melodies and kind of catchy, good pop music. I'm a fan. But if you remove Taylor Swift's music from the history of pop music, nothing changes. From a music evolution standpoint, there's no difference, there's no change. Now, remove the Beatles from the history of pop music, and everything after that changes. Taylor Swift is a lovely limb on the musical tree of pop music. The Beatles are on the trunk of the tree. And in the long history of political cartoons, a history that dates back to ancient Greece, as most things do, Peter. In the long history of political cartoons, Pat Oliphant lives on the trunk of the tree. You can remove a lot of cartoonists through history who have achieved some things, but that tree would continue to blossom. It would continue to evolve. If you remove Pat Oliphant, you just get a stump. He created a new standard. He was an artist whose impact and singularity changed the center of gravity for editorial cartoons to where it is now. He was a demarcation before Pat Oliphant and after Pat Oliphant. He created what was then a new graphic vocabulary, one that was so evocative and so thoroughly penetrated our industry that even the current generation of cartoonists uses it without knowing its root. It simply became the default. Oliphant's work almost always was in perfect harmony. He didn't, what do I mean by harmony? He didn't overdraw his caption. He didn't overwrite his art. He found balance. He was an ecosystem. If you take a little bit from here, that part fell apart. If you added a little bit there, that part didn't work. And he never took the lazy way of literally illustrating an issue. You know, he wasn't interested in likes, and he wasn't preaching to any choir. Instead, that is part of why some cartoonists might take the lazy way, because they know they're going to get that response. Pat Oliphant drew and wrote for an audience of exactly one person, himself. And that level of authenticity, as only authenticity can, got our attention. It was surprising. Maybe didn't agree, but he grabbed you by the lapels. And he forwarded the conversation in often unexpected and prescient ways. When I was starting out, it wasn't at all unusual for the water cooler conversation, the issue of the day, to start with a question that was an assumption. What'd you think of Oliphant? You didn't even have to identify which cartoon, because it wasn't yesterday's cartoon, because you talked about that yesterday. Everybody read Oliphant. Those that loved him read him religiously. Those that hated him read him even more religiously. I struggle to think of, who he spared. He hit everybody, all sides, all ideologies. He hit smartly and he hit hard. It was a different kind of bipartisanship, I suppose. And this is why the New York Times described him as the most influential cartoonist of our time. Bill Watterson once said that the rarest combination is great talent with great passion. Because that, in the original definition of the word, actually is awesome. And that is Pat Oliphant. Many of you are going to return to your drawing boards after this. I implore you, especially the young cartoonists out there, since this future, this industry, this art form is yours. And I see you there, and you're smart, and you're gifted, and you're passionate. Engage that passion. Push your talent. Be authentic. And make something beautiful. Be great. And by doing so, you will honor a time when giants roamed the earth. Thank you. That last sentence would have been better with a British accent.